Washington County Planning Commission now come to order. It is 10 minutes after 5. We've relocated to the city council chambers this evening and gave people a little extra time to get here. So we're going to go on and get started. Call to order here. Pledge of allegiance, please, if we all may stand. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call, please.
Roger Hagan.
Here.
James Ursery.
Here.
Al Cohen asked to be excused. Jim Ackerman.
Here.
David Morris.
Here.
Mike Park.
Here.
John Gay.
Here.
Megan Polk. Here. Hank Hamilton.
Here.
Cliff Nauer.
Here.
Planning Secretary is present.
All right. Amendments to the agenda before we move to approve. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
The minutes will be tabled this evening for some minor adjustments. Hearing that next scheduled meeting. Is that correct?
That's correct. During a training session, it was pointed out that during minutes, each vote would have to be identified individually instead of a unanimous vote. So I'll be making those amendments as well as one of the, in the section in the minutes, it's a little vague, so I'll be going into more detail about the motion.
Any questions from the floor at this time? Board of County Commissioners report.
There is nothing to report. We didn't have anything on the last Board of County Commissioners agenda. I would like to point out that this is Mr. Park's last meeting. So I would like to show appreciation for the 5 years that he was here.
I've enjoyed it. It's been a good thing for me, and I'll be passing the baton to someone at the school board. We don't know who that person is yet. Mr. Taylor's looking for someone at this time, but March 31st will be my last day with the Washington County School Board. I've really enjoyed the planning commission. It's been a good experience.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Thank you very much for your service.
That's all I have to report.
Your retirement. The new business will be moving to the Terramore Development LLC. All day Howell.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Megan Polk. I'm with the Washington County Planning Department. The property is located at 4404 Old Spanish Trail in Caryville, Florida. It's a general commercial visual land use and is 1.58 acres. Here's the area map of the subject property. There is a mobile home currently on the site, however, it will be demolished prior to construction. The immediate surrounding area is primarily vacant. I think you have a commercial development to the south and to the east, to the west. As for environmental sensitive areas, it is within the AE flood zone. The applicant has indicated that they will fill the site, which will raise the finished floor elevation of the building, and there are no wetlands present on the site. Here's the proposed site plan. They proposed a 9,100 square foot retail building. The required parking is 36 spaces, however they're proposing 31. A variance is also being requested, which I'll discuss later in the presentation. 4 bicycle parking spaces are required. They did submit a revised plan showing that they did provide those spaces on the site plan. As far as landscape buffering, a type A is required along the entire perimeter. Stormwater, that is to be discussed further with the engineer. The building meets the proposed setbacks. And to just get into detail about the variance, they're requesting a reduction of 5 spaces They will provide a total of 31 spaces. Based upon the parking study that was provided, that will be sufficient for the proposed development. They are also requesting a variance for the width of the parking spaces. The standard is 10 feet wide. They are proposing to provide a 9-foot wide parking spaces. In other communities, that has been deemed acceptable for vehicles of various sizes and types. And so staff recommends approval of the site plan and also the requested variances. Contingent upon submitting a no-rise certificate. They have also submitted the solid waste and sewage disposal service letters that was also included in your packet. And like I mentioned, they've provided the 4 bicycle spaces on the site plan. And I'll stand by for any questions that you have.
What is the flood zone?
80,
80 is the flood zone.
yes, sir.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Margaret Sanders. Good to see y'all again. I think it was a couple months ago when we were down here requesting the future land use map change, and now we're back at the design stage, and as part of that, asking for a parking variance. So Megan did a real good job of explaining that. Washington County Land Code requires 36. We're asking for just a slight reduction to 31. And the genesis for that, and we were kind of talking earlier, the whole notion of Dollar General is you get in there, it's convenient, it's your kind of neighborhood shopping. You're not there for a long time. You're in and out, so it doesn't require the same level of parking that other retail establishments would. In the packet, there is a parking study. Terramore has done a traffic count with some stores. Dollar General has devoted a lot of resources to parking and has decided that 31 is completely adequate. The average parking during peak hours is around 14. Traffic count is around 14. So 31 will be more than adequate for the Caryville store. The engineer, Joseph Alday, is here with some technical questions about the site development. So we can kind of piggyback as needed.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Alday Howe Engineering. Basically, the biggest issue I wanted to address is the condition based on the no-rise certification. When Victoria was here, it's kind of up to the local FEMA officer, I forget the exact term for it, which the county has the authority to ultimately say, do you need to submit it or not? I think conservatively, they said they wanted us to go ahead and submit it. So I've requested the hydraulic and hydrology analysis for the Choctaw River, put him on the spot over there. But anyway, Choctawhatchee, yeah, there we go. And so I expect to get that model next week, and then it's just a matter of modifying it to include the development to demonstrate that it's a no-rise, and we feel pretty confident that it'll meet the requirement. And I've talked to Mr. Nauer about it. He feels the same, but it's just a matter of doing the modeling and submitting it. So we're hoping that this meeting we can be approved with the condition that that's submitted before final approval.
Mr. Chairman, from the Hope County Health Division, my concern is not the reduction of spaces as much as it is the reduction of size of space. It's been a while since we've had anybody do for that, except for the bicycle lanes, but why the 9 feet if instead of 10 feet if you've got more than enough parking space?
Basically, the site is fairly narrow, and because of the little, I don't know, is there a way you can turn it back? Okay, and because of the little square that's part of the city property, you know, we're kind of, even though it's a fairly good size piece of property, everything's kind of confined because it's a narrow site. Also because of the grade change, and we're having to build it up to get it out of the flood zone. We're having to put retaining walls, so it kind of limits the footprint for our parking lot and for the building. We do a lot of work, and Dollar Generals go in everywhere, you're aware of that, but, you know, like City of Tallahassee, Leon County, other municipalities, I believe City of Marietta as well, is a 9-foot standard, and the small space is an 8-foot. The biggest issue, and I drive a big truck, the biggest issue is your aisle width. Is if you've got a big enough aisle where you can back out and turn and go, then a 9-foot space is more than adequate to get in and out of. Now, if it was a smaller aisle width, to where you need that space, the width in that space to back out, then, you know, I would say you need that 10-foot space.
And I read your traffic things and when you should include it. And that may be the answer to the question too. I'm not sure that I paid that much attention to the aisle space, but there's more and more very large trucks. And then as our population gets older, and I think you'll find that in that area, the maneuverability and things like that, sometimes that extra foot is going to be a safety issue. I've heard, and I don't know that this is right, that the city of police gets called to Walmart's parking lot from the accidents than they do on the streets and things like that. And I wonder how much of that is space, how much of it is driver age or day of sight and things like that.
Right.
What is your aisle space?
You had that?
It's 25 feet. I see
30, the front's. So the front's well, let me get back there. Yeah, typically, most municipalities they'll have an 18-foot aisle. The actual parking space will be 18 feet deep. Then you'll have a 24-foot wide drive aisle and then an 18-foot space. So you're 60 feet. Well, other municipalities say a 20-foot space, 20-foot drive aisle, and a 20-foot space, and it's still 60. Well, what we're having here is 18, 36, and 18. So you've got 36 feet to back out of. So you're gonna, which is what, a truck and a half, in order to back completely out and then start your turn and then leave. And the reason for that is so the delivery truck can maneuver in and out.
Yeah, I don't.
So this width right here is 36,
Okay.
and these are 18. So it gives you plenty of room to back out, start your turn, and then leave.
So you've got 72 feet instead of 60.
That's correct.
It sort of shows it on sheet 3 in the attachments, but it's different.
Kind of small.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the full set of plans if you want us to take it up there and let you look at it.
No. I just had a concern about that narrow, about losing the foot there.
Right.
If you got 31 at 9 feet, that's 279 feet. If you got 28 at 10 feet, that's 280 feet. You're just talking about foot's difference in the number of square feet that you're living well. I didn't consider the depth of it.
And like I said, that's just from me driving a bigger truck. The biggest key is having enough backing depth in order to, once you get away from that car next to you and the car to your right and left, then to be able to turn.
That's right.
And so that's why we feel very confident that the 9-foot width is going to be adequate.
Just on the side, where's this physically located? Is this across the street from the restaurant there as you go into town? Where is it off of?
It's, well, it's Acock Street,
It's right up from City Hall.
City Hall. It's a small town.
Yeah.
I've got one of my inspectors lives there, so he's been my eyes when I've had questions about it. He's excited about it coming, so.
There's church.
That's right behind where the old Dixie Dam used to be, that hope.
Yeah.
That's the railroad.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that you guys are going in there because it's very much needed in that area. It really is.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Mr. Maurer, what is your input on the 9-foot spacing? If we keep it at 10 feet, we're actually down to 27 spaces.
Yes, sir. What do you, first off, good evening, and hate to see Mr. Park going and appreciate all your service.
Thank you.
9 foot is really the standard in most of the communities around here. Walton County, for example, 9 foot is standard. As he mentioned, Marianna, most other places, 9 foot actually is standard. And so the 36 feet of aisle width that he's showing on the site plan is much larger than what you would normally find anywhere. A normal parking lot has 90-degree spacing. 90-degree spaces, you have a 24-foot drive aisle, which is two 12-foot drive lanes, and then either an 18 or 20-foot space on each side. So 24 foot is a standard drive aisle, and they're providing 36, which is significantly more. I know that these guys build these all over the place and have, I'm sure, done their homework on exactly how their normal customer base operates in their facilities. And so the 9 foot, I don't have a big issue with. I do know that the additional driveway alley width is going to make a big difference for them as well. And so I've been to the site. I reviewed the stormwater on the site. They did a great job on their stormwater. They're providing 25-year pre-post. The only issue that I kind of picked on a little bit about was the no-rise certificate. FEMA has some regulations in place that say that every time you're going to put a shovel full of dirt into a floodplain, you need to remove a shovel full of dirt out of the floodplain so that you don't impact the flood elevation. And so the no-rise certificate that I requested is merely an evaluation to prove that the fill that comes in for their site is not going to affect the flood elevations significantly for the surrounding community. And so they have to demonstrate that it doesn't impact the flood elevation by more than, I believe it's 1/10 of a foot. And so in most areas, I'm real familiar with the Choctawhatchee River. This area up in Perryville, I'm not so familiar. And so that's why I requested that they do the study just to verify that it's not going to cause a problem. I really don't believe that it will, but I can't tell you that with fact either. And so I've asked them to provide some sort of evaluation, either using an ICPR model or some other FEMA approved model, especially since, you know, Perryville has been just devastated with flooding over the years. And flooding has had such an impact on that community already. I want to make sure that when we start to redevelop in the area that we don't cause any additional problems.
Are you going to monitor it?
Am I going to monitor it?
Yeah.
Well, the study that he's going to produce will show what effects his fill are going to cause.
Okay.
So that's the whole idea behind the study. And so I felt like overall their package was very well put together. They addressed all the Section 5 Land Development Code regulations. And the only issue that I discussed with them at the meeting that we had was that they need to use caution when they're doing the roadway improvements, since traffic does come through there, and that that they provide at least a lane of traffic or a detour or something for people to get in and out when they're improving ACOT. And that was really the extent of my comments to them. I'd be happy to address any of those issues that you guys might have.
On that lot adjacent to it, it was water that deep in the freezer units of the Winn-Dixie. But there ain't no Winn-Dixie there now. There's a mark on City Hall, it's about this high up on the wall for the water saying in the
Yep.
City Hall. I don't know what other study you might be, I don't know if that's gonna be show up in your hydrology study, but
No, that's unrelated. That's, FEMA's done some pretty detailed studies of this area. They have have studied the river very detailed in this area, and so, the flood elevation that they have set for this is probably pretty accurate. So, not worried so much about that. What I want to make sure is that when they do import this fill to raise their site, that we don't impact anything around it by raising that flood elevation. And so that's
We don't
my,
push it on somebody else.
that's right. That's right. Yep. So, if you guys don't have any other questions, I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Questions from the board? We're looking for a motion.
so if we approve this now, it goes to the commissioners for final approval.
Right.
So we need to approve the variances or not approve them at the same time. We need to recommend it.
Right, we'll be making a recommendation for approval for the variance and then the development review separately. And this is also going before the Caryville City Council as well on the 14th.
Looking for a motion for
I'd like to
the,
make a motion to accept the plan as recommended by the staff,
Include the variances.
including the variances.
one shot.
I second the motion.
That's contingent upon the field study. Is that correct?
Yes.
The motion on the floor. Second.
Yes, sir.
Motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. We have the field study continuing now.
Right.
All right, takes care of that right there. Thank you very much. Old business.
Yeah, I'd like to have a minute. We've initiated a new type of report. In the past, we've approved things, and we've got some anomalies that have not been corrected. So we came out with a permit report that when they open the doors of their establishment, that we make sure that everything that's on the development order is in place. And this is for our new planner, that when everything is in, it comes back to the planning commission, that everything has been done to it, that we've not left anything out, okay? The buffers, planting, and all that is in place. So it's just something new that we just started doing. It gives us some kind of a track of where we are and where we've been, and it kind of finishes it off, okay? Thank you.
Mr. Ackerman, just for clarification, is that, so for example, if there's a condition that, you know, they still haven't provided a landscape plan or something, if they come back, like, once they do, that we report on it, like at the next planning commission meeting?
Yes, yes. What it does, it tells us that we've actually done our part. County's done their part, commissioners, the working thing has been handled. When it comes back to everything is ready to go, it's a closed thing as far as we're concerned. Okay?
I think they gave us that last month.
You know, I have it here, and it's a good tool for us.
It was a good tool, it's a good
It's a
document.
good tool for us.
Okay. Workshop day, old business, we're going to be moving that to April.
Correct. There's a request by a planning commissioner to move it to April, which I feel is great news. That'll give us time with Mr. Wood to go over the requests that you guys voted on previously or the other amendments to look at. It'll be, I need a motion for a second, if that's all right, to postpone it till April.
April what?
I believe it's April 21st. Let me double check that.
That's on Friday.
So it'd be April 18th.
At 5 p.m.
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
Brandy, I know we can't fit everybody's schedule. I'll be in Savannah that week, and it's all right, Mr. Chairman, that we said it, if that's good for everybody. I will be out of town.
Make sure that you get your packet in
If I
advance,
could
and if
just
you have any
right,
comments.
And we'll be if you have that in the April regular meeting, I can pick it up then, review and give you any comments I have.
We will do our best to have everything.
Is this related, Mr. Ackerman?
No, something different.
Okay, motion to accept the movement.
Move.
Second. Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
You got it. And we've had,
Yeah, I have another item on the old business. Our last meeting that we approved for Jim Towns to continue with his project based on the attorney's comments. So where are we with that? Have we talked with Jeff to find out?
There was an email submitted to Mr. Goodman. I'm not sure if he responded back to Victoria after she had left, but we're still in the process
of doing that?
of doing that. Yes,
Okay.
sir. I will resubmit the request to Mr. Goodman.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ackerman? Up to you? All right, any other old business here? County Administrator?
Nothing, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mallett? Planning Commissioners? County Attorney's not here. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.